Good morning. Welcome to Let's Hear Harlem. My name is Marvin Holland, and I'm very excited this morning to be here with Mr. Tony Hillery from Harlem Grown. And we have a lot to talk about because maybe many of you have not heard of Harlem Grown, but it's one of the most sensational places in all of Harlem. So first of all, thank you for being with me this morning, Tony.
Thanks for being here.
And why don't you just tell us a little bit about Harlem Grown, how it got started, and what it means to the community.
Well, Harlem Grown, we're a 6-year-old nonprofit. We're a very small nonprofit with a very big mission. Our mission is to inspire our youth to live a more healthy, ambitious life. And we use urban farming as that vehicle. Let's make no bones about it. My biggest foe is poverty. We fight poverty, and this is our tool to do that. A lot of nonprofits make the same error. We'll come into a community like this to show the people or teach the people how to do something. And if you think about that, that's kind of insulting just on its face. So we come in here and become the community. We're one here. We're here with the children every day, before school, during school, and after school. Those are our touch points with the children. It's a very difficult thing to come here to give a child something and say, try this or eat this, where you would be shocked to understand that some children here, they can't even identify vegetables. They can tell you a tomato, a carrot, maybe broccoli. That's about it. Everything else is salad, 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 and they don't eat salad. Combine that with the high rate of poverty of the children. The majority, the vast majority of our children's families survive solely on food stamps in a community where we have 54 fast food restaurants in a 3-block radius of where we sit, 29 pharmacies, and not one affordable food option. The closest affordable, quote-unquote, food option is Fairway. From here, that's a bus to 125th, another bus to 12th Avenue, a 3-block walk, one way, to get affordable groceries. And even there, affordable is questionable. You can go there and get 4 bags of groceries for your monthly stipend on the food stamps. Or you can go to the bodega and get 12 bags of crackers for the same monthly stipend. And that is the problem of access or lack thereof. So we tackle that here. We have a simple formula. If a child plants it, they will eat it. Guaranteed. Whatever seed they put in the ground, what comes out, they're going to eat it. Then they're going to tell you it's the most delicious thing they've ever eaten. Then 8 out of 10 times they like it, but then we're right back to the beginning. Where do you get it here? So you've seen the greenhouse next door. That's where we do our food access. We grow 10,000 vegetable plants a month. Everything we grow here is free of charge to the children and families. And then taking it back a step back, every Saturday today at 12 o'clock, we forage here and we prepare vegetarian or vegan style meal right here on a hot plate. We teach the children how to cook, send them home with a simple recipe. They go home empowered. Mom, I know how to cook, but I need X, Y, and Z. You see, so it's a little bottom-up approach to make this change.
And how many children have you served in the 6 years you've been here?
Oh, wow. You know, it's a tricky question. As we scaled, I started with one school 6 years ago, and that's right across the street, and that was 400 students. Every school we serve is about 400 students. This year, we're in 6 schools, yet we host 2,300 students a month in this place during the school year, and that's from every school in this district and even beyond the district. We do field trips here, because you know a lot of these Title I schools, they don't have money in the budget to rent a charter bus to go to a farm or something, so they have to use the yellow bus system that only goes in the 5 boroughs. So where would you get an experience like this in the 5 boroughs? I can tell you, it's either the Queens Farm or maybe somewhere on Staten Island, which is really a day trip. If it takes you more than 2 hours one way to get there, literally what's going to happen, the kids will get there, get off the bus, see something, have lunch, see something else, and get back on the bus and come back for a 2:20 dismissal. So here, it's making it more convenient and it's more recurring. We have classes that come every Monday at 9 to 10. That's their slot. and they'll come and plant and tend to the farm. We break them up into groups of 10, class of 30. 10 will be at the chickens, 10 will be at compost, 10 will be in the greenhouse, and we rotate them around. And they get the whole experience. And then more importantly, after those school introductions, those are the children you see coming here on their own on Saturday and Sunday during the summer.
Yeah, I saw some wonderful kids here this morning and talking about you. My next one, could you tell us a little bit about the composting that you do here?
Oh, yeah. Well, we got this. Well, first off, let me just phrase this. I am not a farmer. I'm a Google gardener. I never planted anything before 6 years ago.
Wow.
I've learned as they learn. We learn on the fly. We look on my phone how to. When we took this lot, all the soil here was contaminated from all of, like, when you point the buildings, the cement, the power spray, and all of that stuff just washes into the soil. So by law, you can't grow edibles in that type of soil. You have to test the soil every year. So I discovered composting, and part of my in-school activity across the street was trying to get some sort of order in the lunchroom. So we started recycling, composting, and healthy nutrition in the lunchroom to try to get some engagement with the children. So when we started composting, I started collecting all these food scraps, and then it was the now what? I got these food scraps. So 6 years ago, when we got this lot from the city, because it is a city park, we started composting over there. And composting is a simple process. You take food scraps, which are nitrogen, and you mix it with carbon, dead leaves, shredded paper, and it combusts. It heats up to about 180 degrees. You aerate it, and it breaks down into fertilizer. And we fertilize our own crops with our food scraps. Last year we composted 20,000 pounds of food scraps. This year we're on track for 50,000 pounds.
And with the goal of the composting, I want to stick to that for a while. Don't you have some type of workforce development?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Harlem Grown, we started out with just me. And through the generosity of PricewaterhouseCoopers, they gave us $1 million in pro bono consulting. They gave me 3 consultants over 7 months to take my little mom and pop and gave me an 82-page document on how to scale this. Everyone's question is always the same. How do you replicate you? And where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? I never had an answer to that prior to the strategy guide. So now we work with Police Athletic League and Harlem Justice Corps. We hire young men from this community, all 17 to 24. They've all dropped out of high school and they've all been arrested. They intern here. And they come in these groups of 10 or 12. And out of every group, you got 2 or 3 guys who are serious about it. And after the internship is up, we will hire them. We will give them well above minimum wage to learn how to, what we call Harlem Grown. Now, to be an employee of mine and you're out of the internship, you have to get your GED. So we hook them up with Hannock in our office on 127th Street. They get GED prep and they prep them. You have to open a bank account. We don't cut checks with a check cashing man. So TD Bank is another sponsor. We'll get them some financial literacy and you get a checking account. We give them a Harlem Grown email address and 2 weeks of paid time a week. We call it desk time, where we teach them emails, Google Share, calendar, and all of that stuff. Everything, all of our communications are electronic. So their phones are not just for social media and texting anymore. It's actually for work and communications. ADP Go, they punch in and out on their phone. And out of those guys with a little personality and charisma, we send them for mediation training, conflict resolution, and they become our new in-school mentors to replicate what I told you I did across the street. So like I said, we're in 6 schools right now.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your in-school mentors? How does that work? And what have you been doing in the schools?
Well, Marvin, I was a little surprised when I came to volunteer across the street. And when I first started here, I didn't understand the landscape, to be totally frank. And then these kids come to me like bees to honey. It's like unbelievable. And I was wondering why. And then I found out the high rate of single-parent households. I mean, the vast majority of the kids we serve, it's almost 80% live in single-parent households. And you know we have a huge homeless problem here. 40% of the kids we serve live in homelessness. And they're looking for some sort of consistency. And the mentor provides that. Children want to be engaged. They want to be part of something. So we engage them through sustainability in the lunchroom. As crazy as it sounds, we have green teams in all of our schools we work in. Kids want to help. We recycle, they compost, but more importantly, it's the mentoring. They come and tell us everything. We're in the middle of all the little schoolyard bickering and whatnot, and it's not a coincidence that all the physical incidents in the lunchroom drop anywhere from 80 to 100% in the schools that we serve.
Now, with all this going on, one, how are you funded, and then, because it sounds like you're doing the work that everyone talks about doing, particularly in government, how are you funded, and how are people trying to help you out? Earlier you talked about being duplicated or replicated, your work you're doing, because it sounds like, this sounds like you're touching on all the things that Harlem needs to, to deal with the poverty levels, to deal with the shelters and the homelessness issues, to deal with education. So how are you being funded, and who's helping you out?
Well, funding is a tricky situation in a nonprofit world. Nonprofits, we tend to do the same thing. We'll identify a problem. I always say, like looking through space through a telescope, we'll identify a problem, childhood hunger, and then that's what we go after. But you really have to dial it back and look at childhood hunger through a microscope, and you see all these variables that create this condition. Let's be honest, 40% of my kids are living in homelessness. What is kale or chard going to do for a kid who doesn't have a plate to eat it on or a place to eat it? And we have to remember the work that we're doing. And somewhere in the nonprofit space, our mission kind of morphs into fundraising, which is so bizarre to me, where it's more important to raise money than to stay focused on the work, if you know what I mean?
Yes.
I pursue that fundraising a little differently. We do a lot with crowdsourcing. Individual giving is huge with us, which is really unheard of a nonprofit our size. Corporate giving is important, but in my space here, I don't need a blank check from these big corporations. We need their employees here to work with these children. Just Tuesday, I had 50 people from Google here in this space working with these children. Last June, we had the New York Yankees, half of the team here in this place, working with the children. The children I described to you prior, you come up here and tell these kids to go to college, you tell these children, be a doctor, be a lawyer, come on. Where is that access and opportunity for these children? A lot of them are living in these high-rise projects where everybody in there is living the same way. So where is the access? Where's the opportunity for these children to really pursue those professions?
Well, you're hearing it. We're here live in Harlem with Tony Hillery at Harlem Grown, and some of the children here. Would y'all like to join us here? Because I just want everybody to see that this was real. This is the young lady who greeted me this morning.
Come sit down, Michaela.
Say hi. Say hi. She greeted me this morning before Tony was here, and here's my new best friend Mike. So it's this is really working. And recently you've been awarded, I heard, from CNN.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about that, Tony?
The CNN Heroes Award is an international competition where they take 25 people from around the world and profile them, and they run segments throughout like a 6-month period, and people vote on those 25 people, and it accumulates with a big award ceremony and sometime in the winter at Lincoln Center Jazz, and yours truly has been nominated and accepted as one of the 25.
Well, congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you very much.
What brought you here this morning?
Well,
And what's your name?
my name is Michaela, and I come here like almost every
Speak a
day.
little bit.
Almost every day because I like gardening. It's my favorite thing to do.
Gardening is your favorite thing to do? Oh, wow.
Because I like to help out with the chickens and water the plants. It's like a pretty nice, peaceful place here.
What would you do if you didn't have Harlem Grown to come to? How would you do your gardening and play with the chickens?
I would like to come and
No, he asked you, what would you do if
What
they
would you do
weren't-
if this
we
wasn't
weren't
here? What would you be
do?
doing this morning if this wonderful garden wasn't here?
Wow. So I would be playing with my brother, or I would be upstairs at my nana's house watching TV.
Stuck in the house, but not outside enjoying all this fresh air and wonderful gardening and chickens and stuff. And what brought you here this morning, Mike?
Well, this garden, I like to have fun with the chickens, check out all the eggs in the chickens. Like today, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's not 1, but 8 eggs now.
Because you guys are going to probably eat tomorrow, because I'm sending them with you. I don't eat eggs.
Yeah. Well, I do. I'll come have some eggs with you guys. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning, Tony. We really appreciate it. We can stay here all day and hang out. We're going to go visit some of the other. How many sites do you now have in Harlem?
Now we have 10 sites.
10 sites.
We have 10 sites. We're building out a brand new one, a condensed version on 127 right off of Lenox. Hopefully you guys will go see the greenhouse next door.
Yes, we want.
And what we're going to do on 127 is have the learning center, chickens, and then a two-story version of a two-story self-contained version of the hydroponic greenhouse.
And I just want to touch again one before we wrap up on the composting because one of the things that people are always talking about is job creation. Do you think that we can create almost a whole composting industry here in Harlem?
Marvin, we have that now. Do you realize that supermarkets and restaurants have to pay to have their trash hauled? They pay by the pound. Most of it is used food. We pick up a portion of that. We can charge them for that service. We provide these living wage jobs for these somewhat marginalized, so-called marginalized youth of this community. You should be here when my workforce guys are here and interview them. Some of them will tell you quite candidly they never thought that garbage and chickens would save their life.
Well, we'll definitely be back for that. How can people help Harlem Grown and the organization and what you're doing here? Because I think it's so vital to the community. And we're going to come back and definitely talk to the workforce development guys because I have some interns working for me, and when I told them about what you were doing here, they want to know how they can help.
Okay, and absolutely. I can't forget my single moms who run the greenhouse. They also will come in under very trying situations and backgrounds, otherwise unemployable if you look at just the resume, but the will to work, unparalleled. They come in, they run the greenhouse, we give them, I could do it, anybody could do it, it's as simple as that. But as far as getting involved, we ask people from whatever walk of life to come in and get involved. Everybody has something to add if we're really raising children. And that's my best crop here. We grow well-adjusted little human beings here. That's, forget all the vegetation you see. This is our crop. It's the access and opportunity that they lack in normal walk of life. So here, that's what we provide. So people can give money, they can give time, they can come. People always say, I don't know how to farm, I don't know how to garden. Neither did I, but you know how to be yourself. And that's an addition here.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to Let's Hear Harlem. I want to thank Tony and everybody from Harlem Grown. I want to thank Mike, my little sister here. Most importantly, I want people in Harlem to understand that we have this jewel in our community that's Harlem Grown, thanks to Tony, and to really get involved with this. We're going to be coming back. We're going to talk to the parents who come here. We're going to talk to the workforce development guys. We're really going to grow Harlem Grown for this community. So thanks so much for tuning in this week to Let's Hear Harlem. And Harlem should know we have a gym in Harlem Grown. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was great. Michaela, you're the best. I'm going to give you a contract. Him, he's fired. He is fired.